Everyone, welcome back. I am going to go ahead and jump right into this video. I am starting off with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, and I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit on my face for a little bit. Next, I'm going to go in with tape on the outer part of my eyes, and this is just to ensure that when the tape is removed, the eyeshadow is left with a clean line. The next step is to prime your eyelids. I'm just using a Maybelline concealer, and I will be blending that out with my damp beauty blender. And then after that, I will go ahead and set it with the Airspun loose setting powder. Okay, now for the eyes, I will be using the Morphe 3502 palette. And right here, I'm just deciding which color to start off with. I actually end up picking up the very first color in the palette. So here, I am going to go ahead and just add that first color on the inner corner and the outer part of my eye, blending that back and forth. Right here, I'm going back into the palette just to pick up a little bit more of that same shade I originally went in with, just to make the color a little bit deeper. So I will be going in with a Row Techniques brush and picking up the fourth shade on the top row. And this is just to deepen up the color that I already had on my lid. Here I'm focusing more on the outer V of my eye. I want to keep that just a little bit darker than the rest of the lid. Okay, so here I'm picking up a deeper brown from the Morphe palette. I want to just go ahead and make sure that the outer V of my eye is where the darkest pigment is. Now with this shade, I am focusing on the outer V, but I am also going a little bit into the middle of my eye just to blend the darker brown with the lighter brown. So now I'll be going in with a fluffy blending brush, and I'll be picking up some of that black shade in the palette. And I'm just going to focus again on the outer corner of my eye, making this a little bit darker. As you can see here, I'm packing the shadow on first, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out with that brush. You just have to be really careful with working with dark shades, just because if you add too much too soon, you may not be able to blend it out. Next, I'll be picking up the third shade in the palette, and this is just so that I can blend everything together to make sure that there aren't any harsh lines. Now at this point, I have put a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, and I've picked up a flat brush. As you can see, I am carving out where I want to go ahead and place the glitter. So the point of this process is to really clean up the eyelid. This is just to make sure that everything is clean. Once we put the glitter down, you'll be able to really focus in on that. Now because the concealer does set kind of fast, I am going to go ahead and do one eye at a time. I will be picking up the second shade in the palette with my middle finger and just packing that on my lid everywhere that I added concealer. Right here, I'm just going back in with one of the lighter shades that was used, just to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines. Going back in with that same concealer and brush and doing the exact same thing to the other side. Now I'll be going in with liquid liner. I believe this one is from the brand Milani. It's a very small liner. It wasn't painting the way that I wanted it to, and I believe there was glitter all on the felt tip that it has. So in a little bit, you'll see that I end up switching it out. Next, I'll be going in with the Benefit POREfessional primer. Now for foundation, I will be going in with the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I don't know the shade, but I will go ahead and link it in the description bar below. I also don't like to pump it on my hand and then dip the brush in there. I feel like it's a waste, so I go ahead and just add it directly to my face. Going in with my favorite concealer at the moment, I am going to go ahead and put this under my eyes, down my nose, on my forehead, on my chin, and right above my lip. Now to set the concealer, I will be using the Airspun translucent setting powder. To add a little color to the face, I will be using the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D, and I will be going in with the second shade. I will be picking up the fluffy brush that I typically use when bronzing my face, and I'll just be adding that on my cheeks, on my forehead, and under my jawline. Okay, so for blush, I am going to be using this palette from Morphe. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the first shade on the bottom row with my Real Techniques blush brush. Now I'm just using a stippling brush to blend the bronzer and blush together, and also to dust away the setting powder that I had on my face. Now here I'm just adding a little bit of Marc Jacobs eyeliner to my waterline. I'm back in with that Morphe palette. I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of the brown shades just to blend the liner and the shadow together. Now this step is optional, but I am going in with the Becca highlighter in the shade Moonstone, and I'll go ahead and apply that with a damp beauty blender. Now for brows, I am brushing them up as I usually do, and I will be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pencil in the shade Chocolate. Going back to the Shade and Light palette, I'm going to be picking up the banana shade that it has, and I will be using that to highlight my brow bone. Here I'm using a Jordana lip liner to line my lips, and next I'll be going over that with a matte lipstick from Revlon. So usually when adding blush and bronzer, I tend to go a little overboard, and right here I'm just trying to clean up the line to make sure that I'm left with a nice contour. Once I'm done blending everything out and wiping away the setting powder, I am going to go ahead and go back in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, and this makeup look is complete. Alrighty guys, so this is the final makeup look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see me do more of the dramatic looks, please go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!